Good morning and welcome to another exciting and interesting edition of the program, Global Mornings, the weekend edition of the program. And here we are to help you understand what is happening, learn, also entertain ourselves, and get all of the information that will help us running. My name is Ubong Osora, as usual, welcoming you to the program, a Sunday edition of the program. And you know, I do not do this program alone. I have, as usual, Sadia Yakubu, who's right here. A very good morning to you, Sadia.
Good morning, Ubong Osoro. And how is the weekend? I know you don't like working on Sundays, so how is Sunday?
I don't like working on Sundays.
You prefer Saturday, that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You prefer working on Saturdays because you have Sundays to rest and go to church. So yesterday was World Environment Day. Mm-hmm. How did it go?
Yeah, World Environment Day was on the 5th. It was on Friday.
All right.
It's a day set aside globally to raise consciousness of environmental issues and bring to fore, talk about the environmental impact, look at the assessments, look at where we are, and what we can do better as we move into the future. So, for us in Nigeria, some states had some activities, and they had to bring experts, organize symposium to talk about a lot of things. But sadly, the Ministry of Environment didn't do much, or didn't do anything at all. Right? So, but as journalists, we gathered, we talked about the sector, and we, have brought perspective on where we should be going as a country. And I think that was a way of also having the celebration.
So I saw some people, as part of the celebration, planting trees. Some planted trees yesterday. For example, my state, I saw on social media where they were planting trees, various is the categories. Am I okay by saying that? Yeah. So was it also? I don't understand. What's the connection between planting of trees and the environment days? Some people might not understand the connection between the planting of trees. What does planting of trees have to do with the Environment Day celebration?
All right. So tree planting is is very important because the trees take in carbon monoxide and they produce in return oxygen.
Okay.
So if one of the factors of climate change is lack of oxygen, because as a result of the increase in production of carbon monoxide by human activities, they call it anthropogenic activities.
Right.
So you have all of these generators to produce carbon monoxide. You have the cars. You have a lot of human activities that send out carbon monoxide, and our trees will take in this, and in return they give us oxygen. So it's like a cycle. So while the carbon monoxide are produced by what we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon monoxide. The trees take in the carbon monoxide, they bring out oxygen for us, which is what we need to survive. So trees you see that they become a very integral part, because if they are not there, we'll breathe in carbon monoxide because the oxygens will not come. All right. So as a result of this, you know that if you take in carbon monoxide, it will affect your lungs and it may lead to complications and there will be lots of death. So trees become central to giving us, and just naturally itself, even beyond talking about the scientific part of it, if you go under a shed, if you are maybe you went on a walk and you are tired, you went under a shed, you get refreshed, So trees offer beautification purposes. It could also even offer economic purposes at some time. So all of these are reasons why we encourage people to plant trees. And as one of the activities that is being done during the World Environment Day, tree planting is there. We have cleanup exercises that are being done. People go to clean up gutters, their streets, and all of that. Then also we have a symposium. People organize seminars to talk to people. There's what is called waste sorting, which should be practiced. If you have polythene, you put it in one place. You have papers, you put it in one place. You have cans, you put it in one place. You don't all put all your waste in one dump. So you divide it, you sort the waste. It becomes easier for recycling. So recycling is also talked about World Environment Day, because most of the things that we use are reusable. And there's also an encouragement of reusables. Instead of, at every point in time you buy
and dispose.
you buy a new maybe a new plastic of water. Why don't you get a flask that you can be using to drink? So instead of just keep buying it and disposing it at every time, so you get a flask, so it reduces your plastic footprint. So there are lots of conversations in that sector.
That's very good and that's very interesting. So happy World Environment Day. But then you're yet to plant a tree for me.
Yeah, I've done, personally, I've planted more than 500 trees, and the records are there. Right. So I've done a lot, but there's still a lot to be done,
But I'm still waiting for you to come and plant. Let me see.
I have videos. I could show you my videos.
Can I see it on the screen?
Of course. Actually, we have one. If you're looking at the promo for Environment Weekly, there's a picture of me planting a tree on the promo. Yes, I have videos. I have pictures.
So my friend is also a tree planter.
An environmentalist. I studied geography in school, and geography is in the Faculty of Environment. So by virtue of just passing through that department while in school, you were forced to be an environmentalist, right? So I'm an environmentalist, and I think I've also done a few I can in that particular sector.
All right, so let's quickly start. Let's take a break, and then we come back with a newspaper review. We'll give you the headlines, tell you what's happening in the country and around, if possible. So don't go nowhere. Stay tuned.
Alright, so welcome back to the program. Now this is when we get to look at the papers, and Sadia, you walk us through the first paper for the day.
Yes, our first paper for today is Sunday Punch.
Alright, so the Punch newspaper Sunday edition.
And the lead story is 2027 Obi Kwankwaso bid faces Northern resistance, and that's on page 4. ACF Youth Group query Obi's IPOB sympathy, NDC acceptance. Party fires back, says Lions sweeping through region.
Alright, so another story says post-primary crisis tier ADC part. So let me just take a minute here and highlight, this ADC that we've seen, that the party seems to be having some issues at this particular time. We've seen Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He's been very, very prompt in his response to these issues, I must say, because we've seen him visit fellow contenders. Right? We've seen him visit former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, and we had a handshake and spoke with him. We've also seen him visit Hayatuddin in Lagos, where he had to also talk to him. I must say that they gave up a very resounding contest. For instance, someone like Hayatuddin, which we know in 2023 he has stepped down in the PDP for Atiku Abubakar. This time he was more forceful. He was in the race unto the end, won some polling units, and he's not somebody that he has shown that you cannot push him away, and that's very also germane. And we know Rotimi Amechi has the capacity to upturn or win elections. He almost won the primary of the APC in 2023. If not that, he was contesting against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is also very savvy. He would have won that primary, and we're seeing him also challenging Atiku Abubakar. So he's not somebody you take. But I think at this time, if the ADC must, because already the ADC has have been infiltrated and they've taken some losses.
Yeah.
The ADC must stand formidable. Their rhetoric must show acceptance and accessibility, because that's one of the things some persons may have against Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, saying some of the statements he makes him look braggadocious. But also, when you have the experience and when you have the political wherewithal like Atiku, you could be excused for some of these things. So I think he's also taking the right step, reaching out to these persons, and let's see where the ADC will go as we move towards 2027.
All right, so EFCC under fire over killing of 16-year-old suspect, and that's on page 5.
All right, ex-kidnapped.
No, I don't want us to talk about that now, because I have a video that I want us to show to our viewers while talking about that. So as we try to get the video, we'll just skip that.
All right, so households grown as cooking gas price hits 2,400 per kg, that's per kilogram. We could say a bit of things about this cooking gas. That this is gas that a lot of Nigerians use. I still remember when I was in university and we used to buy cooking gas for about 300 naira, 200 naira. It was that low, 200, 300, 180. No. It was in that range, It got to 500, it got to 700, and it was around 650, 700 for a long time. And now we've seen cross the 1,000 mark, and it's been going upwards since then. After crossing the 1,000 mark, we've seen cooking gas, go from 1,000, 1,2 to 1,4 to 1,6 and thereabout. And now we're talking about getting cooking gas for about 1,900 or 1,800, 2,000, and the report is even saying 2,004. But I know that because I also know it varies from place to place. If you're in Abuja and you're going to a depot to get it, maybe 2,000 naira. But you now consider families that are maybe they cook a lot, they do a lot of cooking, and sometimes 12 kg cannot carry them for 1 week.
Yeah.
So 12 kg is already 24,000. If you are doing 2,000 naira, so imagine how much they'll be spending. Some do 60 kg, so times that's about 120,000 just on cooking gas.
Yes, yeah.
So it's. I think the government should really look into this, because these are the things that everybody uses. The common man, everybody, and transportation cost is higher. Paying times 2 of what they used to pay. Cooking gas is high. The price of everything in Nigeria is skyrocketing. Apart from maybe food has been stable for some time now.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back to Sunday Punch and that story of kidnapped ex-minister's relative. All right, so we have it now. Kidnapped ex-minister's relatives regain freedom. Yes, if possible, can we just have the video? All right. Till now, I think we'll bring up the video much later. I wanted to show you something, because to me it was just like a house arrest.
I saw the video.
You saw the video.
Right,
so to me it was just like a house arrest,
the
ceiling, coming down from top of the roof and then falling inside, and then she and her kids looking well taken care of.
No, but kidnappers take care of the. Let's not get it. If it was because in the south we've also had cases of kidnapped. We've seen some persons who've been kidnapped and we've spoken to them. the basic intention of kidnappers most times is to get ransom out of the family.
Okay.
And for that to be done, sometimes they need to make sure that their victims are well fed, and so that the families can be in good return. It's because of how the whole thing, so you don't know which hands you fall into. So I've seen where people on social media are saying it looks like a house arrest, it looks like it's planned, it looks like it's staged. I think for me, I want to give a policeman the benefit of the doubt, because we've seen in Cross River those times, we know when the governor started marking down buildings and demolishing buildings that were used as kidnap hideouts. Some of these, there are some that take people to the bushes, but there are some that stay inside of the town, just within us. That's why we say if you see suspicious activities around your residence, you should. Some stay in estates. You just see, they'll blindfold a person maybe at the night, they'll drive you around town, drive you, so you don't get to know where they're taking you to. And you could take you into an estate that is just next to your house, right? The estate could just be next to your house, right? So these things happen. So I think let's not, because I know there's a lot of loss of trust in our policemen, and sometimes information come, people want to doubt. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. It's not easy to go, okay.
Alright, so we have the video now. This video is some people will get a house and they keep their relatives.
People even talked about the children smiling, but children sometimes
I didn't even notice that.
Some persons talk about it, so the children were smiling. It was a kidnap case where the children smiled. But you know that children react very well to events. Something very serious could be happening. A child will be.
Not all children.
Some children.
Some children. Because those ones now that are still in captivity, if we could get a video of them now, you see them scared, with bruises,
That's why I said there are different pieces. We don't pray that we get into any of
For me, this kidnap, from the very first time it happened, you could see that it was staged. Not like it didn't happen, but for me, it's like a planned something.
Kidnaps
you understand?
Are always planned.
This one, like the way it happened in the city center of people, where she and her kids were in the car, and then they just drove in their front, parked, and immediately they picked them from the car and put them into their own car. We have some neighbors standing and watching while some were recording. No one could move.
Let me say, maybe because I come from the south, and I've seen these cases, this kind of kidnaps a lot of times. We've seen kidnaps on a Sunday morning when people come to church, where the church I used to worship in Akwa Ibom at the time. They came to church on a Sunday morning, called out somebody, said, please, somebody's looking for you outside. The person came out and he was kidnapped on a Sunday morning in the church. I've seen kidnapped the former provost of my school, where he went to his village, his own village. He's loved in the village, he's a king in the village. Kidnappers came, they were having activities, they shot guns, took him from his house in the village. Villagers were around, put him in his car and drove off, right? So it happens. These are, for instance, we talk about Evans the kidnapper. You see the kind of people he was allegedly kidnapping and how he treated his kidnappers. So there are different kinds of, some persons have taken kidnapping as a trade. There are some kidnappers that dress well, dress polished, wear good suits. They don't go into the bush. We've all seen all those kind of activities.
In the city.
Yes, they live in the city, so and they pose as prominent business people.
Yeah. So now, do you know the reason why I said me? Because some people out there have been thinking that this is not real. This is it. They're trying to play with the minds of Nigerians and stuff like that. If you go through the comment section of this very video, you see a lot of comments there that. Some are sympathizing with the family, some are happy that they've been released, while some are saying all sorts of things.
Right. I think that also takes us to the distrust the Nigerians have with our security agency, and it's a larger issue, right? So whatever they say is now double checked, is now
Yeah.
cross checked. I don't know if you ever dealt with somebody you know this person is not a truthful person. If the person tells you good morning, you really have to check your time. Is it really morning? Because this person does not say the truth. I think there's been some level of distrust. So whatever the Nigerian police says, people will want to double check and cross it. But I think that we shouldn't, because children are involved. For me, if a kingdom wants to be staged, I don't think it will be staged by the sister of a former minister who just contested primaries to win an election and could not win. And will not just be staging the kidnap herself, she'll be staging the kidnap with her children. You know, sometimes some things are, if it was just a normal person, you can stage and get something out. These are people that are okay, they will be okay in the comfort of their houses. And the Nigerian police was involved, they were the ones that came. So these are institutions, and I feel we should give them the benefit of that.
All right, so another question is this same event, that is the same kidnap, happened in Oyo, same as that of those children and their teachers that have been kidnapped, all right? So why is it that that the Nigerian police couldn't use this energy to rescue those kids too?
Right, like I mentioned, they work in Oyo. I think I saw a write-up the other time where we were saying that a few persons have already been arrested, and you could also talk about collateral damage. The Nigerian police, I'm not speaking for them, but I think that they administratively, when children are involved, terrorists knows this thing that children can be used as human shield. If the Nigerian police goes in there are 20 children, they are able to rescue 2 children or maybe 4, and the rest are killed in it. The time Nigerians will come out and shout and say, why did they do this? So there's a collateral damage part of it, and the terrorists, they know this. They know that's why they like going for children. Because they know that when with children, you can get a lot of public sympathy and trust on their side. So these are also some of the issues that we have to look at.
All right, so let's quickly go back to our Sunday Punch and talk about other stories. Let's move away from these very stories. So, household. All right, we've taken that. Bandits demand release of fighters for abducted ex-army spokesman, and that's on page 9.
All right, insurgency, 8,521 Nigerians seek refuge in Niger, Cameroon, and Chad.
All right, so I think that's it from me.
All right, so for me, Sanwo-Olu, Yari rally Nigerians against terror attacks. It's on page number 7 of the newspaper, and we'll move to the next newspaper.
The next newspaper is The Nation, Sunday edition.
All right, so The Nation newspaper, Sunday edition. The lead series in security, military, communities in fresh onslaughts against bandits. Ex-Minister Adebalu Sisa, 2 children regain freedom. Bandits demand release of jailed colleagues in exchange of abducted retired general and wife. Yari calls for national unity, collective responsibility, and renewed hope. Those are still on the rider. Sanwo-Olu, we won't bow to terror. Nigeria must overcome.
All right, so away from that, we have PDP, Turaki Group claim victory in fresh appeal court ruling, and that's on page 5 of The Nation newspaper.
Yeah, let me just say a few things about the PDP here with the Turaki Group. I saw the CTC, and do not really understand the interpretation, because the 2 groups are claiming, this one is saying, I even saw a write-up when somebody was calling out journalists, and he said journalists are the reason why political parties are having problems, that the courts have now recognized the Turaki faction, and people will still Turaki leadership, so there's no faction, that Abdurrahman are imposters, and journalists, like, you even mentioned names, very senior respected journalists like Shimon Kimbadwe and Ruben Abati, and the rest of them saying that they are brown and blue journalists. I just want to stop here now and say that it's always very easy in Nigeria for people to just blame journalists for everything.
Yeah.
At every point in time, you hear people say, you the media. In all sincerity and truth, I think that the media in Nigeria has actually done a lot. Because this is a country where the support system for the media is very, very low.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like you giving your wife, right, 1,000 in this economy, and you come home, and in all fairness and sincerity to God, you expect to come home and eat and see chicken laps in 1,000 naira food. That means you are a thief. You're a thief. If the woman even manages to give you whatever she gives you, you should be grateful, because you do not have the means, right? So I think this is just me as a journalist now speaking. When politicians, because I interact with a lot of them, they are my friends, you hear them at the barest thing they say, journalists are the ones causing their problem, journalists. How many of them have taken time to pay for media appearances? How many of them? And how much do they even pay? Right? How much does it take to run a company like the one we run? You are staff, you know the wage bill, you know just electricity bill. How much are they paying? How much are they? So when journalists, they expect journalists to be investigative journalists, they expect journalists to do all of these things, but when it is time to buy forms, these same politicians will cough out 50 million, 100 million naira and buy forms, and they will not blame their political parties. But when it is when it is time to pay for appearances, to everything is journalists. Journalists are supposed to be full them of the realm, investigating journalists, not what do you even call brown envelope journalists? Because when I saw that statement, I said, what does this mean? What does this person mean? Say brown envelope journalists. If you give journalists brown envelope, that's for you and the journalists.
Yeah.
And why would you go to hospital, don't you pay for the services? You pay for the services of the doctor.
Yeah.
Why don't you call them brown envelope doctors?
It's just journalists.
So I feel that we must come to a place in the country where people must learn to respect journalists. And if you have your own political party issue, I don't think there's any journalist that are going to cause problem between maybe PDP, APC faction. And if I cover PDP, I cover both the Turaki and Abdurrahman. They are both my friends. I don't have an egg in this fight. Where people are fighting over one egg. But my egg is not there. My egg is not there. So you expect me to come and join you to fight for an egg when I don't have an egg? So I don't have an egg in this fight. You guys go ahead. We'll cover the both people. We are Nigerians.
You need to balance your
not even paying for the coverage. So all right.
So next story, Tinubu's leadership transforming Nigeria, says Wike, that's the FCT minister, and that's on page 9.
The FCT minister spoke yesterday at a convocation in Rivers State, where he was the chief lecturer. He spoke about infrastructural development and country. It was a beautiful speech, but I think the hallmark of it was when he was speaking and his wife, Verechi, who is a judge, came up the stage. The video is trending on social media.
Right.
Took out a towel or a handkerchief and was cleaning her husband's face. Really took time to clean the FCT minister's face. That's the wife. And arrange his face. People even have to clap. So it is trending on social media. People say, why will she clean? It was a formal event. Why will she would have allowed him to finish? He said, is it your wife? Nigeria, this is a...
We always have what to say.
And this is a woman as a judge. Some women, in all fairness and sincerity, you're not even anything. You cannot, show your husband respect. But this is a woman that she's a judge. On her own, she's okay.
Yeah, on her own, she's
highly respected, highly accomplished. She stood up from her seat, took her glass, came and was taking time to clean her husband in public, saying, "My Lord, I have to do this." So she understands that when it comes to the courts, she's in charge. But there's a man who is over her, and he's her head. So she has to show respect. So for me, I feel why Nigerians will some people, instead of saying what's it's public events, you are not supposed to do this, all of them, they are suffering. Those who were, for me, they are suffering from maybe jealousy or envy. It's a public event, and so what? And should the man sweat in public event? The wife has decided to take responsibility and take care of him. That's our baby. The FCT minister.
Let me just assume you are talking. You're sounding like this because you're also in love. So you're a relationship expert. So let me just leave it like that.
So the FCT minister Chinese of Mike is the baby of Eberechi Chinese of Mike. In Georgia, Nigeria. She has to take care of it.
Can we just leave that issue?
I don't know why you are. No, you can also learn from
No, I don't.
All the women in
Let's just go to the next story and leave this.
All the women in Nigeria can learn from it.
We don't have to learn from it again. Alright, so our next story is still on the Nation newspaper. Toxic neighbors, and that's on page 12. Factories pump vets into Ota residential estate. Residents cry out as companies pollute Ogun Housing Corporation estate.
Right. So this is where we have most of the companies that exist in Ogun State, and I don't know if you've ever lived behind a production company before. You get to understand what some of these persons face who are neighbors to factories. Some of these factories use very heavy generating sets, and the fumes that come out, sometimes. So I think that we have in Nigeria. Yes, I know that we are trying now. There are some zones that are called free trade zones where companies can. We have to be deliberate in our siting of companies, even in our siting of filling stations. Sometimes you just move around, especially in the States. You see some filling stations being located in residential communities. It should not be so, right? So we have to be deliberate in siting of some of these places. All right, so still looking at the papers this morning.
Uzodinma Ododo mobilized Igbos Kogi people for Oyebanji's pre-election. That's on the same page 5 of the Nation.
Yeah, the Ekiti election is coming up anytime from now. Let's go to the next newspaper,
which is Sunday Vanguard.
Alright, so the Vanguard newspaper Sunday edition is a picture story of Uzodinma in Ekiti and Ododo as they are campaigning for the re-election of Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji, who's trying to come back and as the governor. Other story says how brutal JAS terrorists relocated from northeast to northwest and now to southwest. A reason: insurgents fleeing northwest, North Spey and southeast, south descend on Yoruba land by retired DSS. Why the behead? Post Grassley video. If you want to know about what is called the JAS terrorists, I don't know the side which ones are JAS terrorists. Sad, every day we just wake up to hear names of new terrorist cells. And I think they are doing it as a business now, so they keep opening new factories.
Yes, that's because sometimes I feel like some of these elites that comes out to say don't pay ransom. Sometimes I feel they are right, while on the other hand, I feel they are wrong. Reason because if we don't pay ransom, there won't be new groups coming out. But it's just because we keep paying ransom that they keep demanding for more. New groups keep unfolding. Today you hear of this group, tomorrow you hear of this group. Different groups in various states. All right. I don't pray for any of us to be victims of the kidnap, because I know the experience alone is it's a bad one. It's nothing to write home about. But then the paying of ransom now, they see it as a big business. They even open social media accounts, Facebook and TikTok and stuff like that. They post a picture or video of the ransom they collect from their, should I say, clients? So you see, to me, if we can come together and agree not to pay ransom again, I think they would stop. At some point, they will stop.
Yeah, I think that also makes valid sense. But it still boils down to the government, because ransom payment is individual choice. There are families that cannot stand their parents, their children being kidnapped. They could go all the mile. Because when your loved one is in a kidnapped facility, you don't know if the person will be alive, you don't know if the person is. So the only chance you even have at life is paying ransom.
And then, all right, some persons sometimes will pay ransom and then their loved ones are still being killed.
Yeah, killed. I've actually, but there are some that also pay ransom and their people
they
are released. So it's not certain. So sometimes people just want to give it a try. So I won't blame the people, but I would say that, like you've suggested, if we can, it will help, go a long way. But ultimately, it's the responsibility of the government, because when we talk about protection of life and properties, Section 1 of the Constitution is very clear. We give the government our sovereignty, we give the government our rights. All of us, we donate our powers to the government. And the Constitution says that the government shall be responsible for the protection of lives and properties. So any government that cannot protect lives and properties of its citizens has basically failed, right? So in as much as, yes, the citizens have a role to play, we can report, ultimately it lies, the decision lies with the government. The government must be able to, take responsibility.
All right, so let's go back and take a few more stories, and then we'll go back to our last newspaper before we wrap up this segment and go for another segment. So, ex-power minister sees twin sons rescued after gun trail with kidnappers, and that's on page 7. Cooking gas hits 2,000 naira per kilogram, and that's on page 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooking gas, we already talked about it, how difficult it is now for families to, cook, because a lot of persons use cooking gas. If you even say, I don't know if there are people that still use kerosene for cooking.
Kerosene is also expensive now.
Yeah,
so I think the only thing we could fall back to now is our local way, firewood or
firewood is also very expensive. It's also very expensive. I remember when we used to buy kerosene, how much? 17 naira, 65 naira, 16 naira. Now it's over 1,000 naira.
Yeah. So how do we go about it?
So,
and we must cook.
Yeah, but yes, you have to eat. So I even pity people who do daily jobs, because it's not certain. You could have a job today, and even when you have, I was asking somebody, how much are you paid a day? He said 15,000. 15,000 you pay transport, 15,000 you eat, 15,000. So life is becoming very difficult for many Nigerians, and people must know. We have in Akwa Ibom, gas is flooded. What that means is that when you go to Ibono, you can see from where Mobil is drilling, you can see gas being flooded. What that means is that while we take, because the components of the crude oil, there's a component of gas also extracted, but we do not make use of that. So this is a country that Nigeria has more gas than crude oil. You could check it. It's true.
Yeah.
Nigeria has more gas reserve than crude oil. So even the crude oil that we are shouting, crude oil, we have more gas than crude oil. Just that we've not really taken time to harness our gas deposit. We can power the country by gas. I attended a seminar by estate surveyors or something. They were calling for channeling of estates by gas, like electricity in estates. They were calling that all estates should now, instead of estates should have their gas plants to power the estates by gas. Gas can give light. Gas can give power. So gas is a very important component, and sometimes we don't even look at it. So in a country where gas is being flared, that means you have enough to just allow it to go. And this gas flaring is 24/7. No, it doesn't stop.
It doesn't.
If that place in Akwa Ibom, in the middle of the night, you still see, right? You still see gas being flared in those places, right? So in a country that is as rich in gas like that, citizens are now buying gas for 2,000. It's sad, and I think we can do something about it.
All right, so let's go back to Sunday Vanguard and then talk about Insecurity again, Yari calls for national unity, collective responsibility, renewed hope. Suspend church services for 7 Sundays in protest, Prophet Ojo tells CAN, that is a Christian Association of Nigeria, both on page 7 and page 21.
What would that do? That will not do to cause anything. That is even allowing the people.
We'll give you the trial now.
It's like they win, because if you suspend, what difference does it make? It's even better you go and pray. God will answer the prayer, and you suspend. You suspend. What difference does it make? We need collective efforts, and this is the time that, like, everybody must come out to put pressure on the government, so that the government understands that this is a serious matter. There's no time there's no time to play around. There's no time to joke around. The Nigerians must put pressure irrespective of religion, ethnicity, or tribe.
All right, so inside semi-border corridor, petrol freely smuggled out, rice smuggled in despite 60 checkpoints.
It's sad that people are still able to smuggle things in and out of Nigeria. It also speaks to our security agents. Some of them allow these things to happen.
Yeah.
I know that there are agents that will never allow you to smuggle past them, but there are some that you give them money and they will allow you. We know some of these things, and it doesn't really speak well of our country. But let's go for a short break right now. We'll be right back.
All right, before that, I think we have our taste and texture as usual. It's weekend, so taste and texture would come up. Then when we come back from the short break, we'll go straight into the first belt of the program.
All right, stay with us.
Hello everyone and welcome to Taste and Texture. Today we are going to be preparing boiled plantain and egg sauce. For the boiled plantain, we'll be needing the following: ripe fresh plantain, knife and clean pot, water. Here is the process of preparing boiled plantain. Wash and cut or dice your fresh ripe plantain into few pieces. In a clean pot, add your diced and washed ripe plantains. Add water, salt and cover to cook for a few minutes. Drop and drain the water, and then after a few minutes peel the boiled plantain and set aside. For the egg sauce, we will be needing a few fresh pieces of raw eggs. In a clean bowl, break your raw eggs and whisk. Get your clean frying pan and add oil to fry. Add your pepper, mix and stir for a few minutes. Then add Maggi and other seasoning of your choice. Then stir and add corned beef, optional. Also stir your already whisked eggs, and finally add parsley and stir it. Our boiled plantain and egg sauce is ready. And that's it on this episode of the show. I hope you will try this recipe at home. Join me again on Taste and Texture next time. I am Sadia Yakubu. See you again.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
At Witchtech Cables, we don't just make cables, we deliver excellence. Our products are built with advanced technology, trusted for their unmatched quality and durability. With a wide range of cables, swift delivery, and continuous innovation, we stay ahead of the market demand. We are proudly Nigerian, fully indigenous, yet world-class. Backed by a professional team, strong technical support, and a deep commitment to customer satisfaction. Witchtech Cables is more than a brand, it's a promise. Witchtech Cables, quality cables better than the best.
At Erojim Shoe Factory, excellence starts from the ground up. Located at number 1 Pound Road behind Nigeria Correctional Service, Aba, Abia State. We produce 1,500 high-quality shoes every single day. Paramilitary shoes, safety boots, desert boots, ankle shoes, back-to-school footwear. All crafted with state-of-the-art equipment and built for strength, comfort, and durability. For reliable footwear that stands the test of time, choose Erojim Shoes for better product, strong steps, smart style. For inquiries, call 091-264-53399 or 070-3009-3944 or 080-6573-8374 or call 081-3167-3668. Email info@erojim.com. Website www.erojimdesign.com. Erojim. Walk with confidence. Walk with pride.
Alright, so welcome back. As before we go into our discussion for the morning, let's do look at a few papers this morning as we'll try to make sense of our discussions. Alright, so we're still looking at the Vanguard, Sadia, right?
Yes, Sunday Vanguard.
Right, so
at the next stories, 18 days after Oyo abductions, the only thing I see are videos with guns pointed at her. Families of captives narrate agony of coping, and that's on page 8.
As sad as it is, still lots of kidnaps there. It's kidnapped here, kidnapped there, kidnapped here.
Yeah.
Kidnappers list demands as the Defense Headquarters spokesman, wife speak from captivity. This is sad. Defense
I
headquarters.
I saw
spokesperson.
the video of both the man and his wife pleading to some local government chairman, the state governor of Katsina, and Nigerian government to come to their aid to release some of these boys, that's some of the boys of the kidnappers, and then some of their cattles as part of the conditions for them to be free. I don't know if I could get that video so that I think our viewers will also see, not to say maybe it's you and I, maybe it's our opinion. No, it's not our opinion. So I'll try and get the video now and then display it on the screen. But before I do that, I think, Ubon, you take the next story when I try to get the video.
All right, so still looking at the papers this morning is a Vanguard newspaper. We have it on the screen. That says kidnappers list demands as ex-defense headquarters spokesperson wife speak from captivity. Sad. There's a story that says Ariana star David Bonaboy feature 4 songs in World Cup 2026 album. I think this is very good news for the Nigeria entertainment community. We're having lots of global recognition of recent. There's been lots of global recognition from various places, especially for the work that Nigerian artists are doing. And I think this is a blessing to Nigerians who have paid the price, for what we are now seeing. People like Fela Nicola Kuti and the rest of them, who Oliver Diko, Raskimoni, a lot of Nigerian artists who carried the flag of the country, even in spite of troubling environment, and they kept owning the crafts, kept putting out the best that they can do. And here we are as a country now getting this global recognition, and then people are seeing Nigeria for what we are, which is the talent, which is the style, there are people that cannot do without coming to spend Christmas and December period in Nigeria at the end of the year festivities, because Nigeria has one of the best end of the year festivities in the world. As when you go to places like Lagos, there's a long line of activity from here to here, fun parties, the beaches, so it's just great. So we have to make sure that insecurity is fought head on, so we don't lose this time. And I think the government should also show some level of intentionality.
So I'm trying to get the video.
Right, so that the government should also show some level of intentionality this period at the end of the day. So Nigerians can really look at and say, oh, okay, this is what we are and this is what we've done. Because I think all of the things that have been achieved so far has been through personal efforts and a few group of investors. But if we have more solid government support in the sector, in the film sector, in the entertainment sector, we'll be able to make a better progress in that particular field.
Alright, so I don't know if we're set, so we can play the video of the wife of the ex-army, and both the ex-army spokesperson calling on the local government chairman, the federal government, and the state governor to come to their aid and to give in to the demands of the bandits so that they could be free.
It's sad. It's sad that but it's the truth. This is where we are. We are working towards a near failure of our security apparatus. I know that the security people have tried. Of recent, we heard the Senate president speaking that the defense budget should not be scrutinized, because some persons called for scrutiny of the defense budget over years, and they said it should be scrutinized, and he said no, it should not, because it may bring down the morale of armed forces who are fighting against terrorists. You have the video now?
Yeah, we have the video, but I don't know if it's ready from the order path, so it could be displayed on the screen for our viewers to see. Oh, we're still trying to.
All right. So, the Senate President was saying that it's not the right time, but I think that we all also have to, look at it and say, okay, because we've spent a lot in providing for our military. There's been a lot of spending. There's been a lot of resources that has been involved in our military. There's been a lot of training that has been done. If you look at the last 3 budgets of the country, defense has been number 1, not infrastructure, not roads. But at the end of the day, Nigerians seem not to see the defense because they need results. So if you also even have to pity the government, but they knew what they asked for. So if a country spends this much on defense and this is where we are, it doesn't mean that these bandits are better funded, doesn't mean. So we have to be able to ask this question because we spend a lot on defense in the country. A lot is being spent on defense, but this is where we are. So what is going on? What is happening? These are questions that Nigerians must begin to ask and demand for answers.
All right, so let's go into another story, and maybe before we come back, we'll get the video of the ex-army spokesperson and his wife as they speak from captivity inside Seme Borders. Okay, I took that story earlier. Delta 2027, Obore Vori, Omoagege trade heavy blows on page 27. Have you seen the video?
Yes, because our Omoagege has moved from the APC to the APC to the NDC.
All right, so let's have the video of the kidnapped ex. So you can see this is his wife.
Tun daga gwamnatin jiha zuwa ta ƙananan hukumomin da ta shafi wannan yanki. Gwamnatin jiha His Excellency Dukku Radda tare da chairmomi na yanki.
As you can see, the retired ex-spokesperson of Nigeria Army and his wife pleading with the government to please come to their aid and meet their demands. So first email.
Wanda ya hada da Aminu da Sani da Nasiru suna hannu da kuma sauransu suna son a sako musu su tare da kuma dukiyarsu, shanunsu da tumakinsu wadda aka kama masu. Muna appealing dan Allah dan Annabi duk wanda ke da hannu a cikin wannan da yake da iko da Allah ba shi iko a matsayin shi na shugabancin jihar mu ta Katsina. Ku sa hannu a biya wannan bukata saboda mu ma mu samu biyan bukata su sake mu. Waɗannan bayan Allah yara guda 3 a taimaka an kama guda 2 a jikan.
So I think I will interpret that for the benefit of our viewers who don't understand Hausa. She said she's played it to the government and every other person, both in state, to come to their aid, to come to their rescue, to please give in the demands of these bandits to release their boys, which the state government, I guess, arrested, and then some of their cattle. So, from Ubon, what do you have to say before we wrap up the segment and then we'll go into another segment properly?
Yeah, I think that it's quite sad that this is where we are now in Nigeria, where people was highly placed as a former spokesperson of the Nigerian Defense Headquarters has been abducted. It speaks to where the common man is and the failure that we've had in our security apparatus. As a former spokesperson, he has a lot of intelligence gathering in our defense system. These kind of persons in other climes are given even security, cover all through their life because of how sensitive their work were. I just believe that we're able to come out of this in no time.
I pray so too.
All right, so let's go for a short break, and when we're back, we'll bring to you our first discussion this morning. Please stay with us.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform news broadcast, real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
All right, so welcome back to the program. Now we take a look at a political party that has gathered lots of supporters in a short while. The party is barely 4 months old, but it's becoming one of the highly placed political parties in Nigeria, and that's the Nigerian Democratic Congress, the NDC. As we speak about the recently conducted NDC primary elections that has actually raised dust across the nation, with some persons feeling and saying that the party would have done better in conducting that election. And one of the persons that we have he's joined us is Mazi Alphonsus Okoye. He is the national president of the Ebonyi Youth Council. A very good morning to you, Mazi.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right. Let's talk about the NDC, a new political party. It has lots of support from the East.
Yeah. Well, if we say it has a lot of support from the East, I think it's like microzoning the support of NDC. Mm-hmm. We can confidently say that NDC become the highest opposition party in Nigeria as of today. Mm-hmm. And that is not far-fetched because the party come with a hope. That's the hope Nigeria is waiting for now. Mm-hmm. And being the alternative to the ruling party, and so you expect Nigerians to embrace it, and that is what we are seeing today. Mm-hmm. That every part of Nigeria have stood up to embrace the new dawn, the new Nigeria that is possible. And that is what we are seeing. So when we look at it, within a couple of 3 to 4 months, every news occurrence in Nigeria is celebrating, is talking about NDC. Mm-hmm. It only tells you something, that is a new normal that have arrived.
Mm-hmm. You've talked about the NDC being the new normal, but there's still a prominent places where the NDC, some persons will say, may not be having as much support.
Yes, because no tree grows in a day. In fact, we have even changed our narrative. We can say that the tree of NDC have grown in a day. Because other parties, take for instance the APC, at least they spent 1 year before the election. They started 2013. So at least they have full 1 year before election. What we are talking about is party of 3 months Sunday. So kudos to the leaders because they have actually done a marvelous work. Mm-hmm. And all thanks also to our leader and the presidential candidate whose personality is out of this world and have shown that something different can happen in Nigeria. So that's what we are building on. And by that, every part of Nigeria, the reality is this. There are so many who are not in NDC who are indirectly supporting NDC because they are okay with the new Nigeria that is possible. So with that, I believe every part of Nigeria is very much in line.
All right. You've talked about the NDC being okay, but some Nigerians are asking, is the NDC a special purpose vehicle set up to just get into contestation? Or does the NDC have the structures to survive away from it? Because we've seen like a presidential candidate, he came into the party, ADC, he left the ADC. He leaves the NDC. What now becomes of the NDC?
No. When we talk about special purpose vehicle, NDC goes beyond that. And that's why some of us who are not just there for those that will win election, who are not just there to win election, is clamoring that things must be done right. because we must transit from the level of special purpose vehicle, which some persons, especially those who lose out from their various political parties, want to use NDC as special purpose vehicle by jumping in and trying to hijack some of the positions through NDC, which we know some of them did it in 2023, and we see the result of it. Some of them jumped into Labour Party with influence of Peter Obi, and they got the position because they are not committed member of Labour Party. They jump ship, and today we are saying that those who ordinarily should not win a local government election because of the influence of the party, the personality of Peter Obi, they got into the party, they got elected, and in the jump ship, they are now in another party, singing on your mandates, forgetting that on someone's influence they get there. And that is why some of us who are a card-carrying member of NDC, some of us who understand what it means to build ideological party, is clamoring that we must get it right. Because if NDC fail to get it right, then there is problem in Nigeria. The hope we are hoping will be in vain, and there's no one else that will give us that hope.
Yeah, I'm talking about the hope. There's a lot of complaints already. People like Aisha Yusufu and the rest. I was at your secretariat yesterday, and I saw protests. Various people. I saw people from Ebonyi. I saw people from Anambra protesting the conduct of the primary elections of the NDC. So let's talk about this. For a party that says they will rescue Nigeria, and we're having this level of complaints from party members, does it speak well of that particular political party?
Well, when you come to protests and we come to complaints, in every family, no matter how perfect such family is, certainly there will be complaints. And why is there complaint? Is because there are certain things that is not done to the satisfaction of many of the party members, and they need to complain. But the difference that we have a set of leaders. The national leader of NDC and the presidential candidate is a different creature of this world. In fact, I don't know if we have up to 3 in Nigeria, because if we do, I think we have done better. Now, while we are clamoring and making this protest, because we believe we have leaders that listen. So it's not, there is a saying that it's better to train a child than to repair an adult. We don't wait until things get bad completely before we complain. We complain now so that the leaders will also fine-tune some areas and give it to them, kudos to them. Within 3 months, they're able to put up this process, this system, the way it is. But that does not mean that in the building, you will not see 1 or 2 areas that have issues. And that is why some of us is raising this alarm. That, look, if we must go to equity, we must go with clean hand. There are some areas we are not getting it right. From the feelers we are getting, yes, the final list is not out, but the rumors, some of us have our intels, we have our source of informations, and we see the way some of the things is going. And that's why we have to speak out to let the leaders know, in case some sacrifice around them is trying to tell them that all is well, that if we are the hope of Nigeria, then something different must happen. And that is why we are raising this alarm. Because if you check, not only Anambra, not only just yesterday, I got a call. By the way, I have a support group with NDC, not particularly anybody. I'm supporting NDC because this is the party I hope and I believe will transform Nigeria. So I got information from virtually every part of Nigeria. And you know what? The complaint that keep on coming, that those who have been some of the members is being shortchanged. Some persons just defect. And we know some of these people that defect. Good and fine, our door is open. But we must scrutinize them. We must look at them. We must not allow those who have been with the party to suffer it. And most of these people that defect will end up jump out. So that is why we are trying to say, we are not saying shut the door against anyone. No. But let the proper thing be done. Let the faithful of NDC choose their leader. And that is the only way we are going to show the world, show the nation, that we are not just there as a special purpose vehicle, but we are here as a party with ideology, with a system that we intend to transform Nigeria and make Nigeria okay.
Were you part of the protest or the primaries that the NDC held some fortnight ago? Were you at the primary ground?
Yes.
What was the assessment?
Yes, the issue is beyond just being, because if my analysis will be based on where I am, I think it will be myopic to give analysis of the whole nation of over 8,000 polling units with just a single place. But we analyze based on the feelers we get in the field, because we also have our intelligence, our men in different areas looking at it. So some of the problem is not mostly with the kind of, because we don't have much of the counting we see in APC from 10 to 100 to 1,000 to 8,000. But the problem is some of the members that come in and try to use some structures, some strange structures to hijack that process. And that is what we are talking about. Take for instance, and just as analyzed in other fora, we must go beyond looking for people that come and answer the name candidates of NDC. We must look at their winnability. And I give you one example. Like, if you come to Ebonyi State, the filler we are getting talks about 3 positions in just one local government. Now we begin to ask, in Ebonyi State, there are about 3 local governments we know that they have higher number of voting population. We talk about Izi, we talk about Ikwo, we talk about Sohuku, and Jericho government and all that. But if we come to the central, I'm not from the central, but I'm concerned about my party. If you come to the feeling we are getting is that both the governorship, the Senate, and House of Assembly is coming from the same local government. Why we are raising this is to let our party know that politics, we all know, is interest and give and take. We must distribute this position the way we have what we are using to negotiate with the other local government. Don't forget, Ikwo, we are talking about, APC have already given them the House of Representatives and all that. So now, if we don't have what we are going to use to hold that population, then certainly sympathy vote will come and then NDC will lose. So that is why some of us are saying, let's look at, and we are not just fighting for this because we want to make people feel or we have special interest. In fact, the person contesting for the senatorial position in NDC from the Ikwo, from the central, there, I have never met him for once. I have never. I think the only time I've seen him is once on television. I've never. But why are we discussing it? Why are we thinking that things should be done right? It's because we don't want NDC to become a special post vehicle. We want it to have those that can win the election. Let's distribute this position. It's not only central. I'm just using Ebonyi State for example. In the south, the feeling we are getting, the information we are getting is that both the House of Rep and the Senate is coming from the same community, not even the same local government. In fact, the same polling unit here is not taking. So this is what we are saying. What are we going to use to negotiate with others?
But if the people bought forms and also contested from those local governments and they were able to win their elections squarely, is it
now the issue is that there are some things that we want that is why in the wisdom of the party they have refused to release the list. I'm sure the leader, and that is why this is the time for us to appeal to them to bring to their notice what plays out. Because politics is local. Some of us in the field knows how things goes. So it's not something we remember this still my house. So I cannot come and be fighting my house. But at the same time, we want the right thing to be, and this is the only time we can get it done. We are not saying give someone who did not win. Like the report I got from Abia State, one of the person called me and said, you have evidence that one of the senatorial candidates almost got over 80% of local governments within there. And it's still under the fillers they are getting, according to the information given to me. It's not because when they see that someone is actually bringing to the notice of the leaders, look at the issue we have, let's treat it. Different persons start getting in touch with me and explaining that. So we find out that in that case, there are some issues that I use this medium to appeal to our leaders. Our presidential candidate must get involved. He must look at it so that, because he has the goodwill of the people, good. But there are those that will drive this from the grassroots. And that is what some of us are saying. It's not good enough for me to say, it must be okay, you have the goodwill. Politics is local. Somebody might come, even without even sharing that money, confuse you based on who you have, because politics is all about who will I meet after the election? Who is the next person? So, and that is what some of us is saying, please, let's get it right, because we are the last hope of Nigeria.
It's some Nigerians will feel, can we really have a political system in Nigeria that can go each free? Because so a lot of persons feel that when it comes to the NDC, there's some level of, difference. But with what we are seeing, there's complaints, some persons are saying no elections were even held, some are calling for a rerun. And when you just look at the whole political system in Nigeria, and it raises questions.
Yes, do you know why? Because those who jump in and join NDC do not fall from the moon. If you pick a goat and wear him a suit, if he comes here, he'll be like a goat, because that is his nature. So there are those who already have the mindset of look at how it must be done. This is how we have been doing it. So it's just like in most of the interviews of our leader, we hear him say he was impeached simply because he wants things to be done differently. Those who want the status quo to remain, we always insist on doing it their way. And as a political party built in Nigeria, that is open for Nigerians, people come in there with different characters. And that is where the leadership comes in. Law is not because people will not misbehave, but law is there to checkmate those misbehavior. So that is where the leadership comes in. And that is why we are calling the national leader of our party, our presidential candidate. They must put head together. Our vice president, a very experienced politician, they should put hands together. I see how he handled Kano State, and everybody was happy. I was happy. The feelers I'm getting from Kano State shows me that NDC is at home. So with that, I call on them to intervene and make sure that the hope that Nigeria is yearning for is actually actualized to NDC.
And some persons have even said, why would the party finish a primary, and for many days the results are known, but it's not been announced and it's being kept? What do you think is the reason for that?
Yes, because as a father, you need to be a father to all. You must be a father to all. And when, as a father, you finish building and they complain, what do? You sit back. Not only to announce. The difference between NDC and other political parties is that other political parties bully you to silence. You cannot even complain as a APC that the injustice was done to you, as we all see, from 10 to 1 million. You cannot even complain because the party will bully you to silence. But this is the party that comes in and give you open hand to express yourself. So when there are such expression, the party leadership has decided to take their time to get things right for two reasons. One, in any of those complaints, there are this saying that in every accusation, there are elements of truth. As a father, you don't rush into conclusion and say, okay, this is the final. You sit back And I believe that is what the leaders is sitting back. And that is why some of us who have interest of NDC have now to let them know, in case those around them is not letting them know, see the reality, that there are areas we need to work on. First, we need to also meet with both the aggrieved and the supposed winner, so that, because NDC is promised not to be a winner take it all. Let's see how we work together, because if NDC fail, keep repeating it, Nigeria, the hope is the...
There are many political parties in Nigeria, so we cannot, as a country, put all of our hope in one political party. Some person will say we've not really experienced the NDC in leadership, so we cannot, talk about how the NDC will lead Nigeria going forward. But I would like to still ask a few questions for some minutes, but I like us, I will go for a short break, and when we'll come back, please let's go for a short break. When we'll come back, we'll still look at the 2027 elections as crisis hits the NDC over alleged primary election manipulation. Please stay with us, we'll be right back.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Alright, so welcome back to the program. If you're just joining us, this is Global Morning, weekend edition and a Sunday edition. Tonight, this morning on the program, we're discussing with Mazi Alphonsus Okoro. He's the National President of Ebonyi Youth Council. And we're looking at 2027 elections as we look at the Nigerian Democratic Congress. And I'm looking forward for your party. Your party seems to have a likeness because of the influence of Peter Obi. Let's talk about Peter Obi as we look towards 2027. Do you think he stands a better chance this time, or do you think he has steeper obstacles? They are familiar foes now. The same President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that I contested against in 2023 is the same president. The same Alhaji Atiku Abubakar that came second with 6.9 votes is still there. So the only change is that the person that came fourth, Kwankwaso, with 1.2 million votes, is now the vice presidential candidate.
Yeah, thank you. I think comparatively, I would say Peter Obi has far better chance now than ever. You know why? When he comes in 2023, in some quarters, they are calling him prophets. Because what he told Nigeria, that if you fail to do this, this will happen. You are going to suffer, you are going to complain. I think it was like a preamble of what is happening today. So, before 2023, most of them predicated their grievances. They said he's playing ethnical game. He said bring all sorts of things to the religious and all that. But right now, Nigeria is united in one thing. We are united in hunger. And that hunger will point to us where we should go. That's 8-point-something votes for APC. Out of them, many of them are hungry with me. Many of them, their children, are in captivity today. So, all things being equal, P2B now don't even need to campaign again, because the experience have taught many Nigerians that this is a place to go. So, when you look at it, and one of the things that affected his electioneering movement in 2023 was the North factor. And that other factor had been set aside, because the North have now seen that this man they told you that he's evil is not evil. In fact, it's the hope that is coming. And you know, 2023, our experienced vice president was in the other side. But right now, he has read the chunk number of the North to realize that this man is not what you think.
A chunk number of the North, or chunk of people are in Kano. You had former Vice President Alejandro Kobaka say Kwankwaso is popular in Kano.
You know, if you say Kwankwaso is popular in Kano, it's the same language they said in 2022. They said the obedient group are just 4 people tweeting in one room. And today, that 4 people is the most feared political organization in Africa. Because if you look at it, whenever you invite 20 APC members to come for a discussion, 20 of them will center on one person, Peter Obi. If you bring NDC, all of them will center on Peter Obi. But if you invite Peter Obi, or you see any of the fora, Obi will be busy discussing about Nigeria and the future of Nigeria. That shows you that those analysis is not always what he thinks. Many will tell you he's only in Kano. Let's wait till election day. We know if he's only in Kano. But I know, because it's not only that we are now jumping into ADC. This is NDC. This is just what we have already sat down and planned. That the North have come to realize that Obi, that they were told, is that kind of wicked anti-North and all that. Imagine cooking up a story that Obi provide the North, whereas that was not even in Anambra State. It was the only person that tried doing that was in Imo State, Governor Rochas Okorocha then. Not even in administration of Obi finished his tenure in 2014. And that occurred during Rochas in 2015, after Obi had even finished as governor. So, you find out that those are cooked stories they are trying to use to...
One of the things I've also heard is when people say that one of the factors that worked for Peter Obi then was the Muslim ticket factor, that some people were concerned that, Nigeria should be multi-religious. But now, people are at home with the Muslim tickets. It's not a concern.
In fact, the issue of Muslim ticket will work against APC now more than before. Do you know why? In 2023, many of especially the Muslim sector, see it as it's not a battle between Christian and Muslim. And in order to prove the point, they don't look at the capability of the person coming. They are looking about, let's defend our faith. But today they have seen that faith, that Muslim ticket, do not put food on their table. It does not reduce the cost of things in the market. It does not make them buy fuel any cheaper. It does not stop terrorist attack in Nigeria. So what are they going to sell again? It's not usual telling them, come and support Muslim ticket because this. They are fighting not because we are Muslim. No, those arguments have already fallen. So Peter Obi now have a clear chance, because both the Muslims now understand that it's not about who is there. It's not about who can deliver.
So, but does Peter Obi has, because sometimes, it's easier to postulate when you're outside, but when you get in, you see the real work. Do you really believe that the challenges in Nigeria seems they are very serious challenges? And from what I heard at the NDC convention, Peter Obi said he wants to do one term, and after that, the NDC has already zoned 2031 to the north. can you make any meaningful progress in Nigeria in one term?
Yes, you can. Do you know the truth? Is that you don't need 20 years to make a difference. A difference starts from the first day. If to bring Nigeria to it new can start from one statement, one unplanned statement, if I will use that, that means to turn Nigeria around can. And I give you the example of Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. We see what he did. Some people keep on making this analysis. You cannot do things in 4 years. 4 years is too much for a man that wants to do something. Now let's look at the background of Peter Obi. He became governor of Anambra State in 2004, 2003. At the time, I want you to fact check it. In Anambra State, the issue of security is the worst. In fact, I'm from East. I would prefer, no matter how rugged Lagos is, I would prefer to be stranded in Lagos than in Anambra State, where I think, at least before I count 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10 people, I will see someone from my state. But it was no-go area. How long does it take Peter Obi to get it right? Check the interview of Major General Nenche. He will give you a clue of what can this person do. So it's not an issue of farming time. And look at Nigeria politics. The second tenure, first tenure, the real governance is like 2 years. The other from the third year, preparation for the next election. They enter the second tenure. The real governance is like 2 years. The other 2 years, they used to prepare for who will take over from them and to plan their retirement package. So in actual sense, what each of them has always used is just 4 years for Nigeria. Whether good or bad, that's what they use. So anyone, if Peter Obi is coming in, he's coming in to use the 4 years because he knows, and this explains why Goodluck Jonathan proposed, during his regime, there is a proposal for a single term because they see that the second year is just a waste of money and opportunities. So Peter Obi, I told you, I'm going to do 4 years, and after that, judge me based on what I do. And I bet you, Nigeria will be the new Singapore of Africa.
That's still in the realms of speculation because we do not have, because even some persons have complained about how he worked in Anambra and all of that. But I want to stay on the party now. Some persons have said that the NDC seem to be operating like a private entity. We've seen Turaki Dixon, the national leader of the party, have meetings in his home, party meetings, and some persons have said it should not be so. This is not, yes, you are the leader of the party, but the party now transcends you, it's bigger than you. The party belongs to all of us and should not be brought into the control of one man.
I think those saying that is a statement from the opposition, because those of us who knows them knows that Dixon do not by any means monopolize NDC. In fact, the way it is now, Peter Obi cannot even, with sentence, authoritatively said he's controlling NDC. NDC is a party that have life of its own.
Who are those controlling NDC?
NDC have a structure of leadership that controls NDC. As a leader, you give your advice, and that is where a fatherly role comes in. No father build a house and abandon it, then you are not a father. A father is always there to guide his son. When you hand over your business to your children, you don't just abandon them. You are there to also guide until everything is formalized. So anyone saying that he's a senator of the Federal Republic, he's a leader of a party, he can have meetings anywhere, in his house, in the office, anywhere. So it's not, that does not make it monopoly. Maybe he's still monopolizing the party. No. He can have a meeting. with all aim of getting things right. And that is why he's a leader. A leader is not one who sits at home and drink tea. A leader is the one who leads from front. And that is what Dixon is providing. And that is why if you want, there's no NDC, both aspirants and members, that has anything against Dixon, because it has provided a leadership. That is why we are confident to call on him now, that there are steps also, further steps to take to make sure that as a father, that the house you have started will also get matured and do well.
All right, so if, because there's always the what if question. What if you've said you've called the chairman, you've called the national leader, you've given your advice. What if they do not take the advice that you've given? What next?
We believe they will, because they have interest of the party. There are people that are there to do something different, and from their antecedents, they have already shown that they are listening leaders. And that is the confidence we have to let them know that there are issues, some of us, informations we are getting that need to be attended to. And we have every confidence that they will do the needful. And NDC will come out, not stronger, because it's not weak, but come out as the number one, as the only alternative to the current APC.
All right, so we've seen, still talking about parties, as we try to wind down now. We have the Labour Party, we have the NDC, we have the ADC, all of them, the PDP in the realm of opposition. And some persons have suggested that if the opposition must pose any reasonable challenge, the opposition must come together as one unit to be able to present a single presidential candidate. What's your take on that?
That would have been the best. But human factor comes in there, where some set of persons want their individual ambition, even when it is clear that Nigeria of today is not disposable to get you as a leader. So in a situation whereby so many persons feels that is their entitlement or their birthright to govern Nigeria, the worst thing that will happen to Nigeria is that the best candidate is allowed to be trampled down. And that is why at this point, NDC is one party that is so accommodating that even until now it still extends hands of fellowship to all the opposition parties. Let's come together and build, because we know as of today, without sense of responsibility, I would say we only have two presidential candidates. Which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Peter Obi.
What about Atiku Abubakar?
We'll talk about him next time. But for now, I can only guarantee.
But the ADC has published his name as the presidential candidate of the party.
Yes, the APC will still have other hurdles to cross, because of now, ADC itself is not even sure that it's going to be participating in the forthcoming election.
We have many presidential candidates. Showore is a presidential candidate of the AAC.
Yes, we have presidential candidates in numbers.
Donald Duke, presidential candidate
we
of
have,
PRP.
In fact,
Goodluck Jonathan.
Goodluck Jonathan. In fact, only PDP have two. We know. With nominal roles, we may have them up to 20, but we know who are serious contenders.
So Atiku is a very serious contender.
Till we get to the poll, we know that. Let's
because some persons have even said he has inherited the votes of the North from late Muhammad Buhari.
It is easy for us to say that in the studio. The paid agent and some of our hungry analysts, sorry if I use that word, we always do that in order to get what they want.
No, they are looking at numbers and data.
Data, some of them are past. In research, you don't predicate on there are variables that you use in arriving at your conclusion. Who does the variable are not there?
Well, one of the variables could be the last election.
Last election and this election is far much different, because the goodwill those followers they got as a result of the same campaign of not being with Peter Obi has been conquered.
Even some of the persons with Peter Obi used to be with him have left him, like Nati Baba Ahmed.
Certainly. Some jobbers will always come when the food is not there, they will go out. So it's still not new in politics, because so many persons are just there, and if some of us in local affairs call it way face. But at the same time, I'm a bit worrisome about our former vice presidential candidate of Labour Party, Dr. Ahmed. The reason is he's someone that most of us respects, but at the same time, it's possible for you to disagree. You can disagree with your former boss, but your level of criticism have made nonsense what you claim to uphold in the past. Because if you know all what you are saying now, why do you support him? And you are saying you support him out of sympathy. That is understated. That is a very worrisome statement. So out of sympathy, you can throw the whole Nigeria into the hands of a failure. Then why should I trust you now? If you can, out of sympathy, you support someone you know do not have capability of giving Nigeria a leadership, and now you are coming to tell me the same person do not. That means ab initio, all you are saying do not make sense.
Thank you so much, Mazi Alfonso Dokoro, National President of the Youth Council. We wish you and your party, the NDC, all of the best as you continue your search for the presidency of Nigeria. It will be a tough battle, and we wish every other party involved in that race all of the best.
Thank you so much, and believe in me, by 2027, I'll be here to receive your congratulations message.
We'll get to see how that works out. All right, people, let's go for a short break, and when we go back, the show continues. Stay with us.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
for the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Good morning once again. Welcome to Global Morning on Global Television. Abuja, the place where stories come alive, ideas spark, and the moment that matter takes center stage. I am Sadia Yakubu. Together with me in the studio, Ubongusero, as usual, will be your host for the next few minutes. DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channels 276. You can also watch on YouTube using at Global TV NG. So, on this segment of the program, we're talking about Beyond Reserve. reserved seats, ensuring women participation in Nigerian democratic process. So you see, it's a policy and advocacy theme that argues that increasing women's political representation requires more than simply creating reserved legislative seats, while the proposed reserved seat for women bill is seen as an important step. Advocates contend that deeper reforms are needed within political parties, electoral system, and governance structure. While the issue matters, women make up roughly half of Nigeria's population, if I'm correct. All right.
Or even more.
Yeah, or even more. Yet their representation in elected offices remains very low. All right. Recent advocacy around the reserved seats bill highlights that women hold fewer than 5% of the seats in Nigerian parliaments. All right, one of the lowest level of female legislative representation globally. Following the 2023 election, women constituted only a small fraction of female candidates experienced very low electoral success rate. And you see, what in terms of election, women will buy form. You see women coming out to campaign, like to tell other people that me as a woman, I want to contest for a particular post or particular seat. But then some men or some of let me just say some of the people rather would not support her. They feel like women should remain in the kitchen, women should stay back at home, women should do this, women should do that, but not to take political, not to come out in political arena.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of traditional sentiment concerning women getting into position of power. But over the years, we've seen also increased women participation in politics. We've seen increased women, involvement in issues of talking about societal inclusion and all of that. And I think it's getting better. Even though I have issues with reserved seats, right? And as we talk with our guests, we'll have deeper explanation.
All right, so as usual, joining us via Zoom is Mimuna Egigogo, or Mimuna Raji Egigogo, a journalist, a broadcaster, poet, educator, and a community development advocate with extensive experience in the media, public communication, and social impact initiative, and also a politician. Yes, I could recall when the primary election was just around the corner, she was also among the women that came out to say, I want to contest as a member of a state house of assembly. But then I feel at some point, the consensus or zoning issue now took her away out of that post or that position she was vying for. So good morning and nice having you on the show.
Good morning, and it's a pleasure to join you on Global TV, Abuja. Good morning, Abuja.
All right, and here's my colleague Ubongo Uzo.
Very good morning to you. It's good to speak to you this morning.
Good morning. It's good to see you too.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let's quickly get started. What does beyond reserved seats mean in the context of women's political participation in Nigeria?
Thank you once again for inviting me to share my views and on women political participation in Nigeria, and particularly beyond reserved seats. I think what we should ask ourselves as Nigerians is that reserved seats there, because the reserved seat is just a starting point or a beginning point, but it is actually not a destination for us. But beyond the reserved seat, women have real influence in decision making, policy formulation, budget allocation, and governance. And I'll give you an example. It is not enough for a woman to occupy a legislative seat, but it is for her to be included and add our own voice to whatever development she of any particular thing that she wants to do. But if she is excluded from key committees where major decisions are made, then what is the essence of you saying reserve seat or giving a woman that chance to vie? But for me, that reserve seat is not there.
This question. Personally, I feel that even though culturally we've seen women being not given as much opportunities as they should, I feel that women have the number to put in any woman they need into position in Nigeria, because they have the highest number of voters in different communities. Sometimes we would like to ask questions about the fact that our women have the number, but why are they not using those numbers to be able to put in their fellow women into offices?
Oh yes, the issue is, even if we have the numbers, just like you have said, that we, the women, have the numbers, we stay at the queues to vote for our female counterparts, but are we given that opportunity? The opportunity is not there. There are policies that did not even favor us. So even if we have the numbers, the policies are not favoring us. So how do we now come out and say, yes, we want to contest or we want to vie for a particular position? So I believe it is not only the numbers. We should also be given an opportunity. There should be a level playing ground for us to be able to have that opportunity to clinch any ticket we want or any position that we want to.
So how important is women's participation for strengthening democracy and good governance?
Yes, for me, democracy works best when all groups are well represented. Because just like he has said, that we make up nearly half of Nigerians' population, but they exclude us because of some of these issues that I have raised earlier, that we are not given opportunity to aspire, especially when he said cultural stereotype. Of course, there are limited access to also party structures and inadequate support system, which I've earlier mentioned. But when we talk about how important women participation in participation for strengthening democracy and good governance, I feel that countries with higher female representation often record stronger social policies in healthcare, education, child welfare, businesses, and other aspects of life.
Reserve seats, and some persons have said, should Nigeria now adopt this reserve seats bill as a constitutional provision? Because for me, like I mentioned, I still feel that because women have the number. Let me give you a scenario. When back in the university, I contested for a position, and were 5 men and 1 female, 5 males, 1 female. And I was thinking that because we have 1 female, the female is likely going to win because, she's a female, and the female gender may want to vote towards her. So one of the days when I went for rounds of campaigns, I met some females and I asked them, please, I need your support. And they told me, don't worry, we'll support you. We'll even prefer to support you than support a fellow female, because I asked them, why are you not going to support her? They said she doesn't greet them. So for me, let's talk about women. and how they even react to their fellow women candidature. Do they support it? Do they show so much support to their fellow women when they are contesting for positions?
Yes, I think beyond what you said, and it is because women are not being allowed to come out and vie. And now that there is a lot of sensitization, a lot of awareness, and of course, how many women have contributed to development of this country and the nation. So for me, if a fellow woman is not supporting her own fellow woman, because of maybe she's not greeting, or she's not a social person, or she did this, she did that, I think it's beyond mere keeping unnecessary things like that. Because if a woman, or if a person, or a candidate can deliver, there is no point in you saying because she didn't greet you, but what can she offer to you? What can she put on the table? I think we women should start thinking beyond our relationship with one another. Some men that don't even have a good relationship and at the top, occupying many positions. But if women take away that, should I use the word enviness or jealousy, something like that, away from their minds, and allow a female colleague or a female participation in politics, I think it's going to help all of us, including those that are saying that because she doesn't greet, or because she doesn't relate with us. So it should go beyond all these little talks. If a woman can offer, if a woman can represent, give her the chance, irrespective of how our relationship is with people. But then it is better we as women, what do we call this? As women, try to build stronger relationship, good rapport with each other, so that when opportunities like this come, we can say, okay, this is the person that we want to bring out to come and represent us, because she is of good character, she's of good this, she have integrity, she have this, she's a honest person and all that. Yeah.
Are political parties doing enough to support female candidates?
For me, is I must say that in Nigeria's political scenario or political gimmick, I think that political parties are not really supporting women participation, because in times of, I will give you an example of financial obligations, or when the nomination forms comes up, even when they say that 50% for women and disability people, but the tickets, the nomination form and the ticket, is it interest form they call it? It's just 6 million. Yes, 6 million for the state assembly. But you end up, as a woman, you end up spending 4 million. Because after you have paid your 2.5 or 3 million roughly, you'll be giving party some amount of money. And at the end of it, the money you are going to be paying is much. So if political parties are supporting women participation, I think the best they should have done is, okay, let's give free tickets to women, because we want women representation. And because of the reserved seat that they are clamoring on, or the reserved seat that they are shouting reserved seat for women, and nothing to show for it. If really it's the reserved seat, let every woman that have come out to contest or to aspire for a position be given that opportunity, not to even purchase a form. Free slot, if you have indicated your interest to come out and VI. Free form should be given by all political parties.
Campaign, because we know that this is also, please just help us steady your camera in one place so we could have a clearer picture for our video. Let's talk about campaign finance. We've seen time and time again people complain about the amount of money that we spend in the country for running campaigns, and I like that you give us your opinion how costly it is to run for office in Nigeria and even running campaigns. People could say you don't pay bribe, but we know that you have to mobilize agents, you have to pay for logistics, and all of this is in millions and millions. So how do women access the finance to be able to run and fund their campaigns?
This is one of the biggest barrier, I must say. Because, you see, many women have the competence to lead, but because they don't have the resources to finance their campaigns, mobilize supporters and purchase nomination from, just like you have said, it becomes very difficult for us. And I'll give you an example. While I was going for stakeholders engagement, and every stakeholder I engage will ask me, did you have the money? So it's that too bad that they will not even look at your competency, but they'll ask you, did you have the money? Or is someone financing you? That kind of questions. And then you begin to ask, where is that look for competency in candidates or in a candidature? Where is it? Because many of us now have sold our conscience with money, and Nigerian politics now is based on money. If you don't have money, you cannot contest. So even when President Muhammad Buhari came out, he didn't have the money. He came out again, no money, and people didn't vote him. He came out again, no money. And when the last time when he got the ticket, it was when people started the other recharge card they did now. Buy recharge card for and then that recharge card stand for your own contribution for the president to vie. So this is one of the biggest barrier for us as women. And if you don't have a sponsor, anyone that will sponsor you, your own is just a history, or it become a story for you.
Participation. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I said, to what extent do cultural and religious norms influence women's political participation?
I'm going to be giving you some of this practical example that happened to me. We were 4 that came out to contest for the state assembly, Niger State Assembly. And among all of them, I'm the youngest. And when I came out that I want to contest for the state assembly, people begin to ask that, doesn't she have a husband? Is she not married? Does her religion allows that? All these questions came up. But then I told some of them that confronted me that if I can participate, or if I can study journalism, and my husband have allowed me to study journalism and practice journalism, then I see no reason why he will say no again if I said I want to venture into politics. And that kept them short, those that were saying, is she not married? And I said, yes, of course I'm married. And when it comes to cultural belief, people think that women should not come out to vie or to contest for any political position because they feel that women are meant to be at home, to take care of their children, to take care of the home, to take care of their husband, blah, blah, and all that. And they feel that even if you are educated, the political space is not where for a woman to go, or is not a place for a woman to go. But until we change that narrative, that women can also participate in politics, but we cannot do that alone. If the male or our men cannot support us, because some of them are just hypocritical, because they will tell you, yes, I'm with you, you can go, but when it comes to real thing in the scene, you begin to hear some small talks that no, why would they? Women are very weak, women are these, are supposed to be there, they're supposed to be these, they're supposed to be at home, take care of us, take care of this and that. And who tells them that a woman cannot represent them? Sometimes people even rub religion on your face, that your religion does not allow you to represent them. That is wrong for a Muslim woman to contest and all that. I have a scenario of someone who sent a voice of a cleric to me when he was delivering some of his sermons, or he was preaching. And the Malam was saying for a woman to, it was in Hausa, for a woman to vie for a position, a political position, to become a member, to become a this is haram, that is wrong. And it hits. I say, I am not an authority, but then the little knowledge I have in Islam, I know that a woman can represent. And I'm also religiously sound. So why are you sending this to me? I know what I'm doing. And before I come out, I have made my researches of how this works. So, and I know my limitation as a Muslim woman. So I know what I'm doing, and he just kept quiet. That same person sent to my husband, I say, my husband showed me, I say, have you seen that? I say, yes, I've seen it, but then I've also responded to him, So all these things, it happens sincerely, and it hinders our representation in politics, seriously.
Stereotypes and how the limited participation. But I want to talk about some of the women that have stood as what is possible and have shown signs that women can walk this path. How do you draw inspiration from those kind of women? And for you, are you mentoring other women too, so we do not continue in this cycle?
Yes. While I was, I came in, because this is my first time I came out to contest. We have some of these women in State Assembly that I was looking up to, who I looked up to at that moment. And sincerely, those women gave me the really support I needed. The likes of Honorable Binta Mamman, who was the only female in the State Assembly at 7th, 8th Assembly and 9th Assembly. She was the only woman throughout. Unfortunately, she didn't clinch this ticket, or she stepped down because of zoning, whatever formula that was in Gurara local government, or that is in Gurara local government. And another one came at the 10th Assembly, Afiniki Dauda. She's the only female now at the State Assembly, Niger. And of course, we have the likes of Barrister Mariam Kolo, who also wanted to come, but she didn't came out. She didn't come out again because of some reasons. But then she was behind the scene, giving me the support that I needed. That don't give up, don't give up. We women can can also do our best in the nation's development. So don't give up. Then don't let them scare you. These men, don't let them scare you. And that's kept on giving me the motivation to move on. Then while you said that, what am I doing to mentor other women? The thing is, I told you that, of course, we have to have the support of the men. We are not dragging anything from them, and we will not drag. We are not asking for equality here, but we are asking for equity and representation of women in any space of life or in any endeavor. But then, if we don't have their support, these reforms cannot be driving. And for me, a lot of sensitization for women to come up. Recently, I had one or two discussions with young women to discuss my own political aspiration and what hindered my own position for not clinching the ticket. I really know that it is not because I'm not competent or because I cannot represent my people, but because of party policies and structures that were on ground that unfortunately deprive my people of my good representation. So if we can mentor young women to see reason why they can also have that boldness, because it is not about you saying that I want to contest. Did you have the confidence? Did you have the boldness? Because when you're moving, there are these forces, these arsenals, these intimidations from these men that if you see some of those intimidations, you just say, if this is where it is how it is, sincerely, I cannot move on again. So it's beyond saying I want to contest. So I want to see how we can mentor young female or young women to have that boldness, that focus, and that passion that politics is not a dirty game, because many people feel that politics is a dirty game. It's how you see, if it is how you make it dirty that you feel that it's dirty. But for me, politics is a dirty game. You have to be conscious of whatever you do and how you're going to represent your people very well.
And sharing insights into this particular topic with us. We really do appreciate your time on the program this morning, and I'll allow Sadia to say a few things too.
All right, so thank you very, very much, Maimuna Raji Kigogo, for being part of the program this morning. I hope to have you in the studio soon, so we'll talk more about this topic.
Thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity.
Is that reserved seats should be viewed as a starting point, not the final solution. Sustainable gender inclusion requires political will, institutional reform, and a commitment to creating pathways for women to compete and lead on equal terms. As advocates note, waiting for legislation all alone risks delaying action that political parties and institutions could take immediately. So in conclusion,
yeah, I feel that it just brings us back to where we started in the morning, and it's about leadership. We keep talking about leadership, and I think it's a beautiful thing to see people aspire to lead their communities. And I wish that in Nigeria we could remove the emoluments that comes with the office. Let's really see those who are after true service, right? Because that's when you see a lot of the persons struggling to get into office may not be interested again if the emolument that come to the office is not what. But you know that once you get into a state house of representative, you have a driver, you have a car that will be given, you have a team of escorts and all of that. So even people that know nothing about representation can find their way, and by so we have exclusion. I know that women is central, and we're talking about women today, but beyond women, there are lots of persons in our communities that are excluded. We have people who are excluded because they do not have enough finances. For the finances, yes, affects women more, but even the men, for you to even run as village head.
You need money.
You need money.
Yeah.
Right? You need money. You need to do consultation. If you are going to even tell somebody that, oh, this is what I want to be, like you want to represent the person, who say, okay, so
do you have money? Just like she stated.
I have a friend who was telling me he's contesting for Senate in one of the parties. He was telling me that at the screening they asked to see his bank statement.
I don't understand.
Yes, because they're asking if we give you the senatorial ticket, you should show that you not turn to tissue paper in your hand. You can get the ticket and nothing. You can't show working. So I think with all of this, we can actually remove all of these sentiments and put our country on the right line. Above all, for me, it's been a wonderful and fantastic show this morning.
Yeah, so we hope the conversation and stories we shared inspired you and gave you something to think about. If you missed any part of the show, you can catch the full episode on YouTube using that Global TV NG. So join us again next time for more insights, more voices, and more stories that matters. I am Sadia Kubu, and
yeah, my name is Ubong Usoro, and from the entire production team, we say bye for now.